What I thought we'll do today is to take a pack that we're going to learn next week, but before Tuesday, we're going to see many of the pakim that we will be learning are very familiar, are the Psukei de Zimra, Hallel, and so this is one of the Hallel Mizmorim, Mizmor Kuf Yud Daled. And if you look at it as we learn it, it will be helpful, although it is one of the very well-known Mizmorim, because not only do we say it as part of the Hallel, but we usually sing it, so we all remember that Mizmor. But what is fascinating is that I always thought, I understand very well what it's talking about. It's talking about Yetziat Mitzrayim and about the miracles that happened about Yetziat Mitzrayim, which is true. That is what the Mizmor is talking about. But the question is, what is the message of the Mizmor? What is the Mizmor saying about those miracles, about Yetziat Mitzrayim? And that is where it gets interesting. So just very interesting I think when we read Tanakh, the problem is that we read Tanakh after its message has been saturated within us. So we read the Tanakh knowing its message and now reading it in a way that, because, well, if that's its message, giving us its message that we already know, then it's obvious. So it can't be. So it must be a different message, something like that. But sometimes it is much more interesting to read Tanakh as if we know nothing. We don't know, we never heard about Hashem, didn't hear about Judaism, we don't know anything about it. And now we're reading Tanakh. Now the questions that the Tanakh is dealing with, the messages that it's trying to convey, become much more obvious. And I think one of the places is this perek. So already at the beginning, it starts talking about Yetziat Mitzrayim. B'Seit Yisrael miMitzrayim. So before I get to my...
You have to sing it.
Yeah, maybe we could all try and sing it together. But at the very beginning, B'Seit Yisrael miMitzrayim, so it's talking about Yetziat Mitzrayim. I want to go through it fast and then go through it word by word and understand what the words say. So B'Seit Yisrael miMitzrayim Beit Yaakov Me'am Lo'ez, when Am Yisrael comes out of Mitzrayim, then etc. And then we'll come back to Pasuk Bet. Hayam Rav Hayanos Hayarden Yisov Le'achor. So these are the miracles that happened. It's talking about the splitting of the sea, about the splitting of the Jordan River when they came in with Yoshua into Eretz Yisrael. Okay, Arim Rakdu Chelim V'ot Livnei Tzon. So that is probably alluding to all kinds of things. Probably Matan Torah, that was on Har Sinai, and Har Sinai was Ra'ash and Ashen, and also perhaps also the miracle where the Moabites were not the Moabites, not the Amalekites. The Emorim were hiding in the caves, wanting to attack, and then the mountains moved and crushed into each other and killed them, and perhaps all kinds of miracles. So there are cosmic things happening, and then it asks why it happens, because of Hashem. Okay, now what's the point of the Mizmor? What is the point of the Mizmor? So the question, probably at a certain point, the Mizmor asks a question. Why are you doing this? Then, what's the question? Because Hashem told me to do so, right? But at least at the question, it's not obvious, right? The answer is that Hashem told me, but at the question, it's not obvious that Hashem told that to happen. So now let's read the Mizmor and see why it's not obvious. So the Mizmor starts, B'Seit Yisrael miMitzrayim Beit Yaakov Me'am Lo'ez. When Israel had exited Egypt, the house of Yaakov Me'am Lo'ez. What is Am Lo'ez? So the word Lo'ez, this is the only place in Tanakh where we have this word. Doesn't appear. Chazal speak a lot about La'az. right, which is a foreign language. And Rashi here explains it the same way. How lo'ez, why, who said that lo'ez means a foreign, having a strange language? So Rashi says that perhaps lo'ez is like no'ez with a nun. And he brings a pasuk from another place where, I don't remember already, a pasuk where, I don't have Rashi here. This is not Rashi, but maybe this will quote Rashi. Maybe here he'll quote Rashi. Let's see. No, it doesn't quote Rashi. Rashi brings a pasuk where no'ez has to do with having a foreign language. Oh, do you have Rashi? Oh, thank you so much. Oh, wonderful. Thank you. עם שפת לשון אחר שאינו לשון הקודש, וחברו עם נועז לא תראה עם עמקי שפה. So there is no'az means there a different language. לא תראה עם עמקי שפה. You wouldn't see with the depth of his language, meaning you don't understand him. עם נועז. So says Rashi, nun velamed נחלפות זו בזו כמו נשקע שהוא לשכה. So sometime in Nehemiah, lishka is written as nishka, nun, instead of lamed. So says Rashi here, it's the same, but basically means a different language, other language. Now, why is that? What Beit Yaakov me'am lo'ez? Why are Mitzrayim called am lo'ez? So it's interesting because in the Klalot, when Hashem says all the terrible things that will happen to us if we don't keep the mitzvot, so Hashem says, I will take you far away to a place, to a goy asher lo teida leshono, a nation that you won't understand its language. And really not understanding the language of people makes them very scared, right? When you don't understand someone's language, it's much scarier than if you know their language. Also, so there's this barrier. Language barrier is a very strong barrier. Okay, so B'tzeit Yisrael miMitzrayim, Beit Yaakov me'am lo'ez. Then Hayita Yehuda lekodsho Yisrael mamshelotav. So this is the most difficult pasuk in this parak. What does it mean? Hayita Yehuda lekodsho. How do you understand this pasuk? How would you read it? When you say Hallel, what are you thinking when you say this pasuk?
Like Yehuda's in the Beit Hamikdash, whatever, or the sanctuary, and then Yisrael is like the street tie around it.
Okay, so you're saying Kodsho means like this, the Beit Hamikdash, and then Yisrael means it's like but what does that have to do with, like, Memshala usually is governing government.
They pacify the land around it. They have street tie around the land.
They have
I'm probably personalizing it for today. But,
so Mamshelotav of the land, but we didn't say anything about the land. So like Kodsho usually means Kodesh of, right? Like Kodsho, the Kodesh of, but then the question is Kodesh of who, and what do you mean when you say Kodesh? Like what exactly? Sorry?
I read the two lines completely differently.
Yeah.
B'tzeit Yisrael miMitzrayim, as Israel leaves Egypt.
Yes.
Beit Yaakov, me'am lo'ez, they're coming out of a foreign language, out of a foreign nation.
Yes.
So the Mitzrim spoke a different language, and they're leaving that language.
Yes.
Hayita Yehuda lekodsho, that's Yehuda, which is it's all parallel language for different aspects of the Jewish people. They leave in holiness or towards holiness. Yisrael Memshalatav,
but
that Yisrael will be its own ruler. It'll have
okay, okay.
its own ruling.
But then the Hebrew, I hear what you're saying. The Hebrew is because then it had to be Hayta Yehuda leKodesh.
For its own holiness, or for his holiness, the Kodsho. To God's, they're leaving.
So the problem with God's holiness is that God is not mentioned, meaning
it doesn't have to be mentioned to be there. It's implicit.
Why would it be implicit?
Or
like if I'm just reading this, I have no idea who wrote. I don't know it's part of Tanakh. I'm just it's a beautiful poem that I'm reading. Okay.
For its own holiness.
Okay, maybe
that's a separation to separate itself.
Okay. So you're saying that until now they were like part of Egypt or within Egypt or swallowed by Egypt, and now they're like separated from Egypt. Yehuda was on its own now. That's nice. I think I could buy that. And then Yisrael Mamshelotav, Israel, right, governs itself, right, to govern itself, something like that. Okay. But then I have another question, and that is Hayta Yehuda. Speaking of Yehuda as in the female tense, usually if we talk about Yehuda as a people, as a shevet is masculine. Also, Am Yisrael is masculine, right? As a like, but Yehuda, we do have a Yehuda which is feminine. What Yehuda would be feminine? The land of Yehuda, right? Yehuda as a country so maybe it's referring to the land of Yehuda, but then what does it mean that the land of Yehuda was Kodsho? Okay, so maybe this is it doesn't. So the Radak says something that could be understood in the way that I'm saying now, but doesn't explicitly say this. There was a rabbi called Meir Weiss, who was a professor at Hebrew University, originally from Hungary, and he wrote a book about Tehillim, and he suggests here that really it's talking about the land of Yehuda, meaning Hayta Yehuda leKodsho. What mean Kiddushin? How do we learn the ki kach ish isha? Then Chazal say this is not exactly what he says, but I'm adding to what he said. Chazal talk about a man and a woman being married, ki kach ish isha, and they equate it to kicha misdei Efron, when the relationship between a person and a human being and the land is talk. He was lokeach the land, and also regarding the isha, he was lokeach the isha. So Chazal equate the two. Now Chazal don't talk about the relationship as kicha, but they refer to it as kiddushin. Now it could be that the same way that kicha is taken from the relationship of a land to a relationship of a man and a woman, also maybe kiddushin can be taken from a relationship of a man and a woman and a people and its country, meaning the people and their land, meaning it's also a type of kiddushin of meaning, because what is when a kala is mekudeshet to a chatan, what does that mean? That she is now exclusively devoted to him.
That is in the context. This is written, I assume, by David HaMelech.
Yeah.
And so the opening phrase is almost, he's linking, why did God take us out of Mitzrayim? Why did we leave Mitzrayim from this strange people?
Mm-hmm.
And here we've got David HaMelech, who has his own kingdom set up in Yehuda. So the whole purpose is
I so agree with you.
And
That's right.
And Malachtav, and
Yes,
it has its own independent.
yes. I think that is exactly
That's what we.
right. I think that is exactly what I'm getting at. Perfect. So this is Hayta Yehuda lekodsho. The land of Yehuda has been mekudeshet by Yetzet Israel mimitzrayim, by Israel, the land of Yehuda, and Yisrael, the greater Israel. So Yehuda is the heart, right? That is where Yerushalayim is, Beit HaMikdash is, the king is, and then there is Israel, is its place of governance. It's under its government. So Hayta Yehuda. So when Israel had left Egypt, then Yehuda became its. It was for, or even more than Yehuda. It was for the purpose, as you say, of the land of Yehuda becoming its place. It's devoted to the people of Israel, and the land of Israel its place of government, of governing mamshelotav. So I think that is a sensible way of reading this. So בצאת ישראל ממצרים, בית יעקב מעם לועז, הייתה יהודה לקודשו, ישראל ממשלותיו. Okay, now what is very loud here? Like what is missing here? That it's like it's tzoek, it's screaming that it's missing here. Right. Hashem is not. If we read it this way, then Hashem is not in the story. There were Rishonim that learned lekodsho of Hashem, but it's not all the Rishonim read it this way, and the reason is because they say Hashem is not mentioned. So we have to understand the lekodsho in a different way. Okay, so
but when you get to Zion,
in Zion, right? But the reason why he's mentioned in Zion as an answer to this strong question that comes before that. So now the psalm is basically describing Am Yisrael leaving Mitzrayim, so now we discussed this, and I'm saying it again because when we read Tehillim and other parts of Tanakh as well, also Mishlei and the more poetic parts of Tanakh, it's very basically psukim repeat. The first half and the second half of the pasuk repeats itself in different words. It's a poetic structure that also it might also reveal some things when it does so, but it's a way of understanding the one half and the other, but it's just to notice that is what the psukim says. So Betzeit Yisrael Mitzrayim, Beit Yaakov Me'am Loez, saying the same thing in different words. When Am Yisrael is leaving Egypt, then Hayta Yehuda lekodsho, Yisrael mamshelotav. Again, different things in same thing in different words. It could be not exactly the same thing, but again, Yehuda could be the heart. Yisrael might be the rest of the land. But whatever it is, so then when that happened, then at that time, Hayam Ra Vayanos HaYarden Yifsov Le'achor. So now it could be, the sea saw and ran back, and the Yarden turned around. Now, if we read the psukim the way we did, then this pasuk now makes perfect sense, because Am Yisrael leaves Egypt and is now on its way. It was mekadeh, right? It's like a lover going to his beloved, so nothing will stop him. He's going to so the Yam sees that the lover is going to his beloved, right? Israel is going to the land of Am Yisrael is going to the land of Israel. So the Yam sees it and immediately splits, runs back, and the Yarden also turns around to allow this unity between the people and its land. So that is the description of what is happening. Okay, they're very, the whole geography is excited about what is happening and dancing like rams, like bnei tzon. I'm not sure how would you translate bnei tzon? Goat kids. Sorry?
Lambs.
Lambs. Okay. And now comes the question. מה לך ים כי תרוס הירדן תיסוב לאחור, הערים תרקדו חיילים גבעות כבני צאן. Why is this happening? And then comes the answer, מלפני אדון חולי ארץ, מלפני אלוהי יעקב. So let's first understand the words. מלפני, from before or from in front of. Adon, the master. Chuli aretz. What does the word chuli mean? So, lachul could mean two things. Sometimes it means to tremble. Sometimes it means mechola means a circle. So it could mean dancing in a circle.
That was my guess, dance.
Right? But it could mean trembling. But it could be, maybe it means like the say, like, maybe it means, okay, maybe so I'm sorry. Trembling and dancing means, would both means the same, but Chuli has another meaning, and that is, Hashem is described in a few places as the mecholel of Tevel Umloa, the creator. So in the Rambam talks, following Greek philosophy, as the how do you say the mesovev she'ino mesovav, right? Siba rishona, that the first cause of everything, right? So Greek philosophy referred to Hashem, and therefore referred to it as the one who mesovev, but siba and mesovev, what does that come from? The word siba, what in Hebrew? Siba means reason, but it means also lesovev. What does that mean? To turn around, to go in a circle, right? To move. So when something is the siba of something, is something that made it move, right? I'm the siba, I'm mesovev. I'm making it move. So lecholel is also a similar thing. I'm mecholel something, I'm making it move. So when you create something, you created movement, you created something that is now alive and now moving. You are the creator, something like that. So Hashem is the creator. Yeah. So milifnei Adon Chuli Aretz, it could be the one who created Aretz, or it could be tremble Aretz. So it could mean this, it could be that. What do you think it means?
Given it says milifnei, wouldn't that make more context about tremble?
Right. So it's true, but the milifnei could refer to the question, meaning, why are you dancing? So the answer is milifnei, or ma lechayam ki tanus. Why are you running away? And you say, I'm running away from milifnei, from before Adon, the master, Chuli Aretz, who created Eretz. It could mean that, right? Or it could mean milifnei Adon Chuli Aretz, from the master, tremble land, milifnei Eloi Yaakov. It could maybe there is this double meaning, but
The word chal is like a hot chalalav.
that is
Is it
already,
the
that is
Jewish?
not in Tanakh. That is
No,
by Chazal.
But that comes from the same.
Right, but I don't know. I'm not sure it comes from Hebrew. It could be that it came into Tanakh, into Chazal. From Chazal had influence of other languages as well, Greek, Aramaic. It's not necessarily. I'm not sure where the word chal in that sense came to.
I assume the same shoulder.
Not necessarily. But so how would we understand here? Milifnei Adon Chuli Aretz milifnei Eloi Yaakov, from the master who created the land, or tremble Hashem, tremble land milifnei Eloi Yaakov, from the Hashem who is in Yaakov. I think it makes more sense to say Hashem who created, who cholel eretz umloa. That's how Rashi explains it as well. Now, why do I say it makes more sense? Because I think that is the point of the Mizmor. The Mizmor tells us a story, then he asks a question, and then he gives an answer. And the answer is important. It's not just a happy, clappy song. It's not just, let's write a song and it's nice and we all feel good because we came out of Mitzrayim and now we're in the land of Israel and it's so nice. No, he asks a question. So obviously, the Mizmor asks a question, the Mizmor thinks it's a serious question. And if the Mizmor gives it an answer, the Mizmor thinks it's a serious answer. So what was the question? The question was, why are these mountains dancing? And the answer is, or running away. They're running away because of Hashem who created the universe. Okay, obviously. Who didn't know that? Then it goes on, Milifnei Eloi Yaakov. From Hashem, from the God of Yaakov. Okay, that's also obvious. It's not so obvious. Because let's say Mitzrayim, so obviously every nation has its good angel, every nation has its God, and obviously, so Israel had their fortune, their stars were set right, they came out of Mitzrayim, wonderful. But how is it, and this is the question that the Mizmor asks, how is it that exactly when they come out of Mitzrayim, all of a sudden, there was the splitting of the sea? So someone might say, well, it was by chance. Okay, so there was the splitting of the sea just by chance when they came out of, because do you remember how it's described in the Torah, the splitting of the sea? Did it happen naturally or not naturally?
Not naturally.
No. In the
wind
Torah,
is natural.
right?
The wind,
There was wind
Yeah, okay.
the whole night, and the wind had the water move, and so someone could come if there would be a
Tsunamis.
right? If there would be a scientist there or a meteorologist, say, "Oh, a tsunami happened to happen when Am Yisrael came out of Egypt." Yes? Okay. So this is exactly what the Mizmor is saying. What do you think? All of a sudden there was a tsunami, and then when they came in, they were supposed to cross the River Jordan. There happened to be another one in a lifetime, one in a creation, right, phenomena, that all of a sudden the Jordan River stops flowing for some mysterious reason, and all of a sudden on the way the mountains move, and like it just happened to be that everything was in place when they needed it to be. It's not so. It's that their Hashem, meaning Hashem, our Hashem, Eloi Yaakov, is not like any other God. It's not like Elohei Mitzrayim or Elohei whatever nation who might have their guardian angel. We don't have a guardian angel. Hashem is Malkeinu, meaning Hashem who created the world is also Eloi Yaakov. It's not two different entities. I think that is what this Mizmor is going at, and that is the conclusion of the Mizmor, and then it gives us the last line, Ha'ofchi hatzur agam mayim chalamish lemayno mayim. What is this referring to?
The first is with motion, right?
Mara.
Right? When Hashem brought,
Mara.
it could be referring to Mara, although it's referring here to Tzu from the rock, right? Tzu agam mayim, he made a rock into water. Chalamish is another word for a rock. Lemayno mayim. Now, what does ha'ofchi with a yud here? What? Why is there a yud? The Rashi says. Sorry.
That would be Mara. It's agama.
Yeah, right. So it could be maybe.
Mamish when you hit the rock.
It could be maybe.
It
It could be. But then hatsu. What does hatsu mean? But it could be. But But my question then is like this. First of all, what is hahofchi? This is just to understand something here. This is something that will help us understand the Mizmor before that. Hahofchi, Rashi says that yud is just a poetic thing. It doesn't really mean it. It's like hahofech. It's just as hahofchi. It's like a poetic way of saying hahofech. How does Rashi know? He says, look at the previous Mizmor. So the previous Mizmor is also in Tehillim, but there we say, "Hamashpili lirot b'shamayim v'aretz mekim mi me'afar dal me'ashpot yarim evion leoshivi im nedivim amo moshivi akeret habayit im avanim snecha hallelujah." Says Rashi, what actually it says here is mekim me'afar dal me'ashpot yarim evion leoshiv im nedivim or lehoshivo im nedivim im nedivei amo moshiv akeret habayit im avanim snecha hallelujah. Now, why is that? Now, when we read Hallel, we get all excited. Hashem mekim mi, he's mekim mi. But that's not what it means. Because it's talking about the dal. Mekim me'afar dal, me'ashpot yarim evion. So maybe I'm a dal, maybe I'm an evion, but it's not necessarily talking about me. How do I know? Because leoshivi im nedivim im nedivim amo. It's not to put me with, it's leoshiv. The dal, the evion, im nedivei amo. Moshiv akeret habayit. I'm not akeret habayit. Now, just that you know, akeret habayit. What does that mean? In modern Hebrew, we call akeret habayit
unwaged house spouse.
House
Homemaker.
Yes, but actually here it doesn't mean that. It's two words. It's moshivi akeret habayit. Ema banim smecha hallelujah. Meaning, it takes the akara and gives her a home, meaning gives her a family. So he's moshiv akeret, the someone who's a akara and therefore doesn't have children. He makes her have a home, puts her in a home, and now ema banim smecha hallelujah. But in any case, it's talking about he's taking the dal and putting him with the nedivim. Taking the akara, making her ema banim. Okay, but there the moshivi and loshivi, mekimi, all of that means mekim, loshiv, moshiv, and therefore here too says Rashi, hahofchi means hahofech, hahofech to agam mayim and chalamish to maino mayim. To mayan is meaning a flowing water that is like a spring. But why does he say it here? What's the meaning of this after the statement we gave? Who could take something that is and turn it into something else? Right? Only the Creator, right? Hashem created the rock, and Hashem now could change it into water. But if let's say an angel, as powerful as the angel is, the angel didn't create the rock. He can't turn it into water. It's only the Creator could do that. So this is basically what the pasuk is saying. It's of course the one who even took the rock and turned it into water, brought water out of the rock. So if we look at this Mizmor, what is the point of this Mizmor? The point of this Mizmor is saying that when we look at our history as a people, and especially at Yetziat Mitzrayim, then we see the hand of Hashem. And it is obvious that Hashem is Hashem with a capital Hey, the Creator. It's not just that there is some power that is helping us. It is the Master of the universe. It's Adon Chuli Aretz, who is Eloah Yaakov. Now, in the days of Tanakh, it was very common when you see something happen. So you say, of course, there is a koach, there is some power, some force that is responsible for this to happen. Of course, but who said that this force is the force that guides the whole universe, that is responsible for everything. It's one of the forces of it, right? That's basically what lies at the bottom, or at the bottom of paganism, right? What's paganism? Say there are different forces, different. That's why it's not this crazy idea. It's a very obvious idea. It makes sense to think. Who said that everything is connected? But in Tehillim we see that, in Tanakh in general, but in Tehillim also, like the things that come up again and again is that no, Hashem is running everything. It's not just these random powers. And I think bring this to today. I think this is relevant for us today, because there is not such a big difference between paganism and atheism. It's basically the same idea. Pagans say there is no master to the universe, or one master that makes everything. Maybe there's a very strong God, but then there are other gods and they do their own things, and there is not one power in control, and who knows. And basically atheism says something very similar. There is no force responsible for this world. The world is basically, there are different forces of nature, and they run their course. There are rules of nature. There are different things, but it has nothing to do with if you were fortunate enough that something happened. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean that someone is looking after you, or something is looking after you. It's all random. And I think that the same question that David HaMelech is asking here about Yetziat Mitzrayim and the bond between Am Yisrael and Eretz Yisrael, and he says all of this, you see, it's not by chance. It can't be by chance. It doesn't make sense that it's by chance, because you see that when Am Yisrael comes out of Egypt, you have all these cosmic events. So it has to be true that whoever is responsible for the cosmos is also responsible for our history. It has to be the same that Hashem is doing it, and that Hashem is in charge. I think that for us today, both the question and the answer still apply to us today. Miracles happen, and someone can look at it and say, well, just so happened. Everything has a perfect natural explanation when it stands to itself. You could look at something that happened and to analyze it and say, well, this miracle happened. You call it a miracle, not necessarily a miracle. It was natural because this happened, that happened. One thing led to another. It's true. But when you put everything in line, you put this and that, it just so happened that everything happened to be synchronized together and happen at the same time and work in such a miraculous way. That definitely leads us towards understanding that there's some greater power pulling the ropes behind the stage. And when we say Hallel today, so HaMelech David is talking about Yetziat Mitzrayim. In another place, Yetziat Mitzrayim for us is something that was far, far, far away. We could still thank Hashem for Yetziat Mitzrayim, and we still do, but we have also miracles of our days to thank Hashem for and to see Hashem's hand in. So I thought this is a mizmor to have in mind. So
check off.
I said, Tefillah L'Moshe on Shabbat, whole different book.
See, I spoke about it also on Erev Shavuot because it happened to be the mizmor we said on that day.
That's what I want. I want a class and like breaking down